Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Would you rather be dancing? I hope so. I've got to say, thank you for those tuning in now. If you want to know something awesome about the internet, it's when you do live shows, anything can happen. And particularly when you're a dance instructor, coach, and you got no sound because you muted yourself again on a Friday, and you're doing nothing but pantomime hip thrusts live on the internet with no sound, so no frame of reference. Awesome. Great to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to talk about some fundamentals today. Now, what type of fundamentals? The type that make you amazing, the type that make you awesome on the floor, but most importantly, the things that give you control. Control. When we dance, we want to have, dear Lord, say it with me, control, don't we, right? It's so frustrating when like you take a step and you're like, oh my God, and down you go, right? Or you're like, you feel like you're dancing really well, and then all of a sudden you got to close your feet and down you go, right? Are you feeling me? Give me a like, a share, a shout out. Would love to have you here. Stay with me today because I'm going to put on an image in a moment that's going to really help you visualize exactly where you need to hold control for perfect balance. Now there I said it. Dance teachers hate that word, perfect balance. I think you can get like 99.9% the way close to perfection on balance. In terms of dancing, don't think dancing can ever be, because it's so subjective, don't think it can ever be perfect. But balance, we can definitely get going. So if you struggle with balance, if you struggle with control, if you struggle with speed, if you struggle with keeping up with the music, if you basically struggle with anything in dancing, lots of the time, most of the time, it can come down to this overarching fundamental principle called weight. And it isn't weight like in the coffee line. No, it's weight as in how you control this massive energy moving at a high speed of vibration from foot to foot, right? How do you do that? And what do we do in Latin and Ballroom Nouveau dancing is we use technique to move essentially foot to foot. Right? That's what we use. The technique tells us how to go very fancily through movement using our body. Now, there's one commonality amongst ballet, contemporary, jazz, lyrical, Latin, ballroom dancing, and all types. What is it? What do you reckon it is? The human body. It exists in all forms of dancing. So therefore, it's going to pay you a lot of reward if you start understanding how your body works beyond just in technique, okay? So think about it like this. You got technique, you got mechanics, you got expression and musicality in your dancing. So how you move foot to foot, where you go in the room, right? The direction you move, the type of turn you do, all of that timing you use is technique. Mechanics is how we use our body. Where is our arm actually positioned in relation to our spine? And so where are our legs moving in relation to our hips and our spine, right? Now, here is what you're going to focus on today. Are you ready for it? I'm going to put a picture on here, and hopefully my sound doesn't conk out, but this is, are you ready for it? This is you. Oh, hello. You're looking really pretty there. I like the way you're looking at me today. That's a very weird-ass picture, but if you think about this for the second, that is your pelvis from a bird's eye view, okay? So you're looking at yourself from above. All right, and so the pelvis has been cut in half. Now you'll see a little circle in the middle. You see a little circle there, right? It's like an eyeball. That, the levator hiatus, that little circle is exactly what you're going to focus on to make your dancing incredible. All right, and you might think, what the hell does this have to do with my dancing? And you think, I'll tell you, it's exactly like having perfect balance, right? If you look at it, what are they called? Yurts? Is it a yurt where you got those awesome tents? In the middle of it, you got a big pole holding out the cloth around it. All right, essentially, that's what we've got to think about when we're doing ballroom and Latin dancing. We have to get the weight perfectly balanced here. Now, here's the fun part about ballroom and Latin dancing when I teach students, especially when they first come in for a beginning lesson, for example, or you ask someone to stand up. Run the experiment. Go into your workplace now and say, stand up, and notice what happens. Straight away, people go, and they're it's like, I'm up, all right? It's like the chest filling with air does not make your posture better. In fact, it makes it worse because now your weight is freaking backwards, okay? So posture principles under the umbrella of weight control are related to the pelvis for today. okay? Why? Because this is our center of movement. And you've probably heard that term before. You've got to use your center for balance, center of gravity. And if you cut your body into 3 planes of movement, down the middle, across, and right around the side here, frontal plane, turning plane, and then our swing plane, right? We have a perfect center, essentially belly button, right? Put your belly button there. Now, where your center of your pelvis is, that bird's eye view you just saw, let's refer to that as the PC muscle, okay? When you need to go to the bathroom, all right? You're like, oh my Lord! Not that, I don't think people hold themselves like this, but that muscle you're engaging to not like pee everywhere, that is the muscle you want to focus on. Now, it might sound grotesque, you might think I'm a little weird, but most dance teachers never talk about this muscle, yet it's where the center of your pelvis is. It's exactly where you can focus on it and you can tighten it. Just don't make eye contact with someone when you're like squeezing your pelvic floor muscle. You imagine how weird that'd be? You'd be like, just hold on a second, I'm getting perfect balance. Like, what are you doing? And so as you are aware of that area, you now need to be aware of where your best pelvic position is. So here's a quick rundown. That is a posterior tilt. This is an anterior tilt. I'm pretty sure I got that correct. Now, anyways, if you tilt backwards, your body weight goes forward. If you tilt underneath, you fall backwards. That's a very basic idea of balance. Now, what you want to do is do this with me. You ready? And this is what looked weird when I had no audio, right? So we've got to thrust forward, we're going back. We're thrusting forward, we're going back, only from the pelvis. So don't let your upper body get involved. Now, once that finishes, you should feel your pelvis can have more of what we call a neutral or natural alignment. When you have that position, this is what you're going to be focusing on holding throughout all your practice this week. So I'll give you another example. If you've got that neutral position, your butt, gluteus maximus, gluteus minimus, lots of muscles up in there. Feel free to grab your own ass. Why not? You got one, use it. If it's a flat butt and you wish you had a bigger butt, don't worry. Everybody has a butt. Now, even if you like big butts, and you cannot lie, you got to make sure you do it like this. You got to hold your butt, and as you go down and bend your knees, make sure your pelvis doesn't go out, all right? This is not a pretty picture. Plus, dude, you're going to face plant up into the woman's tatas. You don't want to do that. Otherwise, you're dancing for the wrong reasons, and this ain't salsa. So, as you go down and you bend, keep your pelvis aligned in that neutral position. The neck of the femur, where your leg bones join to your hips, need to stay in place. So as you lower, your upper body remains straight, okay? Think of how important that is when you do ballroom dancing, right? If you've got that position with someone else, you are going to maintain harmony between movements and not push and fight into each other. So if you're bashing into each other, a really good place to start is here in the pelvis and focusing on what? That center I just told you about. So we've found a neutral position. There's a center point right where your PC muscle is in the middle of your pelvis, and you're going to lengthen that anytime you bend, okay? You're going to lengthen it anytime you go up and in any movement. So if you take a step forward, right, you want to lengthen up, and it's what's going to allow you to control the posture of the balance that you're seeking, okay? And the more you do this, the stronger it's going to get. And one last teaching tip. If you struggle with finding where your pelvis should be, take your belly button to your spine, okay? And you'll see, even if I do a side on here, if my belly button goes to my spine, I've got now a straight back, a straight postural position. This is something I monitor like every single day, particularly since retiring from professional dancing. I've noticed that gravity is not my friend anymore. It's like pulling me down a lot, and my pelvis might go out. So I always bring that point in all the time, and I can feel it engage my abs very naturally. And so from there, I try to hold this position, then create my frame, or I try to hold that position, then create my turnout for Latin, like whatever position I'm trying to achieve. And I want to make sure that I've got that holding me up. And you can see the difference in my posture, the way I'm holding myself. My arms can breathe, they can relax, which they should be able to do. They should have free movement because you're not trying to artificially hold your body up and be super tight because all these muscles are now engaged. All right, I hope this helped you today. It was a lot of fun bringing it to you. This fundamental, make sure you practice it this week. Give it a shot, write a comment, let me know what you thought of this lesson, how it went for you personally, and also like, share, and comment with a friend. Love to have them on board as you and I master the art of ballroom dancing together